So about 5 days ago, I started this mental shift or mindset shift. I was noticing a pattern in my own businesses that I was, making money, but not at the rate at which I wanted to. And I really felt like and still feel like I have the right model, right? Prioritizing safety, prioritizing customer service, and just making sure the whole experience for the people I'm working with is the very best that I can provide. But there's still some type of lag. And I was trying to figure it out. And a lot of it had to do with the fact that there were still parts of the old me that I needed to let go of, or not really correct, but just change, because there's no incorrect way of being. But to achieve the things that I want to achieve and to hit my goals, something had to. So I think I finally figured that out, because I had always heard about this life that you can manifest and all that. But me being the literal person that I am, and when it comes to imagination and creativity, I might be creative in some ways, but playing pretend is probably one of my biggest weaknesses. Playing pretend and believing that something is true that isn't has been very, very challenging for me. So decided to take a step back, and listening to the book called The Millionaire Mindset, just noticed that they weren't saying, oh, I make $1 million a year. They weren't telling you to believe this lie that you're telling yourself. At least not really a lie, right? Because it can happen, but more about telling yourself something that in your current reality is not true. So that's been extremely tough to get past. And so what they do is they just say, we are going to go and figure out the model of money that you've grown up with, your thoughts about money and everything surrounding money, and essentially trying to remove all the old programming and apply new programming. That new programming, not sure yet, but it really is about erasing the old and coming in, replacing it with something new. And I had always heard about that. I think there was one executive from Maxim magazine. She was interviewed by, your brain is like a computer. It comes with a set of programs. And in order for you to go and do something different, you need to reprogram everything within your brain, or replace the set of programs with something new. And so that's basically what I've been doing since Wednesday of last week. Right now is Monday, so 5 days of this. And it's super simple. First thing I do when I wake up in the morning, what I'm still trying to come to, is I tell myself the same affirmations. Then when I'm brushing my teeth, I look at myself in the mirror, same thing, reaffirm. And then the last thing I do before getting into bed is brush my teeth. And then while I'm brushing my teeth, or after, whatever it is, I'm looking at myself in the mirror and giving myself the same affirmations. And then throughout the day, if I see myself in the mirror, I'll do the same thing. I've noticed a big difference just in terms of my confidence and my emotional state. I'm still stressed, but not as stressed as I have been in the past. And I'm noticing a lot of changes, actually, just with these few affirmations. And one of the biggest things is I've always been really into education, and I've been doing private money lending for about 2 years now, a little over 2 years now. I've been in real estate for 7 to 8 years, something like that. And I've always compared myself to people that are far ahead of me, and always just kind of wondered, like, why would anybody want to pay for a course that I put out, or why would anybody want to listen to me? And so that's all kind of changed starting last week. I have been working on an outline to put together a private money lending course, and really it's supposed to be A to Z: sources of money, how to find a deal, what is a private money lender, who can be a private money lender. And all of this is just because I've shifted my inner voice to say, you do have a lot of experience, and the person that you are today, pick his brain. Speaking about yourself in third person is a challenge for me, obviously. So the idea is, I'm going to be talking to my old self and really explaining what it is that I've learned. Some of them the easy way, some of them the hard way, but at least I'm just going to reframe my mind to say, speaking to my old self, these are all the things that you need to have figured out before you start doing whatever it is you want to do. So that, plus I realized that a friend of mine who runs a occupational therapist company here, she's been doing it for a while, but now she's looking to get to a point where she can actually turn into a scalable business. And just from the conversations that I've had with her, she's been very complimentary, or she's just been, she would ask me questions, I would give her answers, and then it would just kind of give her like a breakthrough. So one of the things was that she wanted to go out and rent a large warehouse and turn it into this massive thing. Basically told her, or I basically point out that there's a huge risk to that because you're going to increase your overhead and there's no guarantee that you can fill it all the time, or you're going to have to go from X number of students that you have now to maybe triple that just to cover the expenses plus all of the equipment and everything that goes into it. So I just threw it out there. Why don't you just look for a smaller space, shared space with a church or something, and work your way up to that warehouse? And so that's what she did. And so because of it, she got this great space in one of the downtown areas. She got a space there, and now she no longer has to drive. People come to her. She can see more patients throughout the day. And yeah, she just said it was, she called us myself and my wife, business advisors. So going to look into trying to offer that kind of service to others as well, because just with the conversations that I've had on the podcast, like business is one of the things that people have to learn to go out and do things on their own. Just me going to business school, accounting and all that, I thought everybody was going through it, but it's not the case. So just looking for ways to provide value to other people. And that's really the focus, and would not have been possible, or not that it would have been possible, but it's just getting accelerated now that this mindset shift has changed from I'm paying for education to now I am an expert. I have expertise that I can bring to other people. So yeah, just daily affirmations, I think is a stepping stone to, not a stepping, daily affirmations, I really believe, so far at least, in my 5 days of doing it, is a huge part of being successful in anything that you do. So I hope this brought you value. I'm going to be recording these mindset. I'll be recording these mindset check-ins on a regular basis. I'm not sure exactly how often, but the goal here is to really talk about the most important aspect of going out on your own, and that is mindset. Subscribe, follow, and come see the next one.